Hello, good evening, everybody. And today I'm going to record the video for the final project of this wonderful class, Cloud Web Administration. And I'm going to canvas and to read a little bit the instruction of what I'm going to do and try to demonstrate each step, each things I did. Okay, module. Mhm. Okay, so this following is the instruction I followed to for this last assignment. So I'm gonna start with three. They asked me to delete my old virtual machine and what I did and create a new one, created a new one and give it another name. The name of my virtual machine, this one is C Petit the last project. Okay. And they asked me. Yes, and I create the virtual machine running the Windows 2025 server, and things I did. And they asked me to create a domain and enable the needed features. And the domain name should be called ensignsuccess.corp. What I did also, yes, I created a domain and I enable the features. That is why you can see these features, and you can see the domain name is ensignsuccess.corp. Also, they asked me to create or use structures as I plan in my Ensign Student Success Center assignment. But last week, I created a document. In this document, I said how many organizational unit I would create it today, and I did exactly. I did it exactly on this one. If we go to Tools, Active Directory User and Computer, I created two organizational unit for student advisor and one for center manager. And they asked me to create user and backup domain administrator account. Okay. They asked me to create one for center manager, 5 student advisor, and one additional domain administrator. When I go back inside of student advisor, I created 5 users. I named them Student Advisor 1, Student Advisor 2, until Student Advisor 4. And the only user account I need to created for Center Manager is Manager 1. And they asked me to create another user administrator for this account. I created. This is it. This is the second admin. I created this user. If I click on it and member of, you can see this user is a member of the domain users, domain admins, domain users. So this user has the full right as another desktop user administrator account. And they asked me to create a folders, and inside of each folder should have some advising text. And I went to File Explorer and created the folders. Go to desktop. I created admin reports advising document. Instead of admin reports, you're gonna file the document files, final admin report, and unsigned advising documents. You're gonna file the document of final advising. And then they asked me to apply access right advising document shared folder. Student advisor and the manager need to be able to read and write documents. Okay, so because it's not possible to directly apply NTFS to an organizational unit, what I did, here's what I did. I created a group, a group in which I put all of the users, all of the users of Student Advisor, because the NTFS permission should be applied for any user you find inside of Student Advisor. I just created a group for them, and inside of the group I put all of them. I populated the users inside this group so that I apply the NFT. It's gonna be easy for me to apply the permission. Let me go back to the permission and I'm gonna show you. Okay, for its advising document, when we right click and go to properties, you're gonna see attribute with only apply for this one. Security. So this group, both the center manager and the student advisor should be able to read and write only this folder. This is the group for the center manager, and this one is the group for the student advisor. Any user you can find inside of these groups only has the right to read and write this folder. It's gonna be the same thing I did for admin reports. I created a group too, and I gave the group, because for the admin report, you're supposed to have only one user. I did the same thing because in the future, if I would have to add more users, I will only have to add the user inside this group, and this user will have the right to read and write. Okay, that is exactly what I assigned the permission for this user. Also, group policies. This one is pretty challenging, and I did my best to do it. They asked me for all staff computers must have a standardized desktop background featuring the Ensign College logo. I did it. I did it. As you can see, here, I have the background because I applied a group policy object to my domain, to everything, every user, every account. This is the reason you have the Ensign College background here. The way I did that, I click on Tools, Active Directory User Computers. No, I think I went to Group Policy Management. Yeah, Group Policy Management, and I created a Group Policy object. The Group Policy object I created for that was the common wallpaper. The common wallpaper, and the way I did that, I created a folder first. Background standardize, and here's the picture, and I give the right permission for everyone. That is the reason every user, every computer would have this background. And I applied and I linked this common wallpaper to anything here. I linked it to Student Advisor, common wallpaper, and I linked it to Center Manager. And I also linked it to Domain Controller so that this group policy object should affect everybody. The second thing I should do was the web browser by default must open to Ensign. So this one is pretty challenging. I could do it for Microsoft Edge, but it was pretty challenging for me, and I was stuck in the middle of it. But I decided to create this one for Internet Explorer because I don't have access to connect to the user specifically. I can't show you that, but I created a group policy object for Internet Explorer homepage web page, and I linked it to my domain to Center Manager home web page, and I linked it also to Student Advisor home web page. So if you can, if I could connect to any of these of the users and go to an Internet Explorer, you would see the the Ensign College um the Ensign College website show up first. Let me do something so I can show you exactly the Ensign College website. Okay, let me go to edit. I went to policy, Windows settings, security settings, account policies. No, this one is for password. Sorry. Um, I think I went to users policies, administrative template, desktop. Where did I go again? I'm sorry. I forget exactly where I went exactly for this. So let me go back. Yes, this is the home web page. Okay, show the template, desktop. No, it was not the desktop one. It was the Windows component. I think so. Yes. And I went to Internet Explorer and I scroll down to disable. Give me 1 second, please. Okay. Okay, and I went to disable changing homepage setting. You can see it's enabled. If I double click on it, you're gonna see the website of Ensign College. So if I could be able to log into one of these users and I launch the Internet Explorer app, the first web page should be shown up is the Ensign.edu website. This is exactly how I did that. So the next and the last thing is I need to enforce a strong policy, a password policy minimum 12 characters, and requiring complexity must be enforced for all accounts. Exactly, go to I created a good policy object for that too. Where you guys? Okay, yes. Here's the I created a good policy for that. Good policy object, and as you can see, strong password. And if I click on it, if I go to edit, computer configuration policies, Windows settings, security settings, account policy, password policy, and okay, exactly. I enable the complexity requirement for passwords, and I enable the minimum password length 12 characters. Yes, this is exactly how I did it. So I would like to ask you, teacher, something. Would you send me a link where I can learn how to do this exactly the same thing for the Microsoft Edge? Because the Microsoft um, Server 2025 doesn't have the templates the the to enable the web page, to enable the web page by default for this Microsoft Server 2025. It's not exist. I should download an ADMX. I did my best to download the file, but I got stuck. I would like to help me with to learn that. If you could send me a link. So it is exactly what I did for this assignment. And let me go quick of what I did. Um, I deleted my old virtual machine. I created a new one. I give it a name, and I enabled the needed features. Give my domain a name. I created some OUs, organizational unit. Created users. I give users a sign. I give users permissions, and I created folders, and I did them. And I created the policy object and linked it to organizational units so that they can affect the users. And I'm so happy. I'm feel grateful for this class. I'm feel grateful to be an Ensign College student. And thank you so much for everything you've done for me, for everything I've learned through that process. It was not easy. It was not easy for me. Life is challenging. And I got faith and I keep moving forward because I learned a lot of stuff. I have some life skills background, life skills I learned from Pathway Connect that helped me. So thank you so much again. And yeah, this is exactly what I did. Thank you so much. And the last thing I'm gonna do before to finish this assignment, I'm gonna delete this virtual machine. Let me disconnect from this one, and I'm gonna do it. Sign out. I'm not gonna use this virtual machine anymore. Let me go back to Azure account. This is the virtual machine. Let me click back, and I'm gonna delete this virtual machine. I'm done with this virtual machine for this term. So see you to the next term. So now I deleted everything. I want to delete everything. Delete. So now I'm not gonna use any resources for Microsoft Azure. I'm just waiting a little bit to see when everything is done. See when everything is done. Okay, it's progressing. Yes, successful. The machine is deleted. So now I'm done. I'm good to go. So thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye.